Just want to start off by thanking again Bronco Nation for creating an elite atmosphere to be able to play in, in Albertson Stadium. Extremely grateful for the fan support, for the athletic department and the environment they're creating. There's a lot of hard work, obviously, that goes into this every single week, every day. It's a big commitment. There's a lot of sacrifice, and it's just a treat for our team and everybody involved, and all the staff, all the student workers and assistants to be able to have a game day atmosphere and compete in an arena like that. So, like Patrick was saying, there was some really good things that we were able to get done today, but notably, two of our younger players scored their first touchdowns today, which was awesome, in Breezy and Prince. There was a pretty good balance within the attack on offense and being a little over 200 yards in the run game and the pass game. Much more efficient in the pass game too today, and had some explosive plays as we were able to push the ball down the field at times. And again, it was good to see our running backs carry the load. It was a little balanced, and George probably got a little bit more than we were initially intending to have him get. Ashton had to leave the game, so we will have to get a further evaluation on that and see what that looks like. But up front, we don't believe that it's anything that's going to be keeping him out too long. But it was an unbelievable job by the defensive coaches in putting together a plan to really take away the things that the Wyoming offense has done pretty well. Their rushing attack has been pretty salty here this season, and the players did a really good job throughout the course of the week with the preparation, and really understanding the game plan. And that's a big part of the maturity of this team is knowing, each and every week for us, it's not so much that we're going to have new plays, new schemes, but we're going against a new offensive structure, new offensive personnel. And our team is starting to understand that each and every week, there's a certain level of diligence that needs to go into this process in order to be our best. Because in this conference, you're going to face different schemes on offense week to week, different defensive structures, and really felt like altogether, not only during the bye week and being able to focus on the things that we can and we need to do better and we need to continue to grow on, the things that we did well today, it doesn't mean that we'll do them well next week. We get to celebrate this victory for 24 hours, and then it's back to it. There's a lot of commitment and sacrifice that will go into this each and every week for us to be our best. We'll have another tough opponent next week on the road, but before then, we are going to be able to sit back and the coaches, the players, the staff, everybody that puts their efforts into this is going to be able to enjoy this tonight, and then we'll get started again in 24 hours.
Andy, you've been saying, and the team's been saying for a while, you guys are this close to putting it all together, 443 yards of offense, 112 yards of defense, 32-7. Is that kind of what you guys have been envisioning?
Yeah, I mean, without a doubt, and there's still, there's some things out there, but we're not going to be nitpicky about it. Like, we're not intending to try to be perfect, but that's more the level of consistency of which we're capable of. Again, there's a lot of guys that played for us tonight too, so the ball got touched by a lot of different, of our offensive personnel. We do need to clean up the turnovers. Bottom line, we cannot be giving the ball up like that, in the first half. We saw in the second half when we take care of the ball, the level of consistency that we can have overall as a whole team, and just taking care of the ball takes care of the team. And being able to take the ball away and create negative yardage plays was a huge part for us on defense tonight. We were able to not only stop the run, but create pressure on the quarterback. Throughout the most part of the game, it felt like we did a much better job of tackling. There's still some areas where we can clean up in terms of certain angles and certain tackles that came up that we're already very, very aware of, that we don't even need to watch the film. We already know what it is, and we'll get back to working on that to even create better habits.
How would you evaluate how both quarterbacks played tonight?
You know what? It was good to see that we are able to create a rhythm, as an offense. Again, when we take care of the ball, we're able to create a better rhythm. And I saw an offense tonight that was able to play in rhythm. So I'm excited about what they were able to do. Mad Dog obviously threw the ball pretty well tonight. It was 12 of 15. And then, TG had a couple explosive plays. He had a really nice pass to George there early on in the game, and then was able to convert, a couple run plays. We obviously got to take care of the ball better, though. We cannot be giving the other ball. We cannot be giving the other team the ball the way we did early in the game.
You guys, you get a stop to start the game. You had a big play to EMAC, and then you guys go for two. How much of a tone setter or statement do you feel like just that opening sequence was for you guys tonight?
Yeah, I mean, that's we're going to spend the time to create things and practice things. We're going to use them. We're going to use them, bottom line. And it's awesome to see something that our coaches put together and the players are obviously really excited about. I don't think there was an option whether we were going to use that after the first touchdown or not, because the players, we, number one, spent enough time on it, and the players would have been mad at us if we didn't do that on the first opportunity, which was pretty cool to see it come together the way it did.
Third game in a row. Oh, go ahead.
George Holani was one of the last players to make his rounds and come off the field tonight. He obviously was kind of relishing the moment. What do you think it means to him to be back on the field, as a senior?
Yeah, for not only for George to be out there and the type of player he is, and in terms of the impact, but the type of leader he is. It hasn't been easy, obviously, for him, but to see him do what he did tonight, I'm gonna be 100% honest with you guys. He went on land running really until last week. So again, we had him on a pitch count, but with some of the things that unfolded in the game, he probably played a little bit more than we intended to. But that's who George is, and he wouldn't have had it any other way. And it's exciting to see him out there, not only for what he did tonight, but everything that George has done since he's been here. And to be honest with you, behind the scenes, the impact that he's had while he's been injured, working with the developmental group and the guys like that are, starting to contribute, guys like Breezy that, the younger players. And so we could continue to find our balance in how we get the touches to these players. That's the cool part about it. Whether it's in the run game and or in the pass game.
It seemed like he kind of was picking up steam as the game was going along, just because it was a kind of rust, dusting off the cobwebs after being so long out, or.
Yeah, I mean, he really hasn't. He hasn't done anything since first game until last week. I'm getting on the field and really playing. There's our trainers had a great plan in terms of his rehab and his return to play protocol, and based off of what he was able to do, the trainers and our strength staff did a good job getting him ready to go tonight.
Seemed like Madison played a few more snaps and tail end tonight. Was there something in the game flow that dictated that, or was there a certain look you were getting from the defense that dictated that?
Well, one big piece of it was that, we were able to run the ball for 227 yards, but there was a lot of bodies in that box too. And so being able to, throw the ball and be 12 of 15, Bush felt like there were some things that we were able to get done. And, in the second half, we scored a fair amount of points and were pretty efficient and able to put the ball away. And really in the majority of the fourth quarter there, 3/4 of the fourth quarter, we were in 4-minute offense and taking care of the clock.
And most of the fact that you guys, Wyoming passed for 85 yards, they rushed for 27, they were 1 of 11 on third down. How proud are you of your defense?
Yeah.
How were they able to put together, that type of performance?
Yeah, there's been a lot of really hard conversations about what this needs to look like and what we need to do, and the players did it. And it's been through the bye week. It was this week of practice. We asked them to do things differently. We asked them to increase their attention to detail in certain areas, and there's nothing more rewarding than to be able to go out there and play the way the defense did tonight after what they've done in the last couple weeks. And now, again, it's not going to happen next week again if we don't, get back to work, continue to improve. We don't put the attention to detail in terms of how we're preparing, how we're studying the game plan, how we come to the facility and hit the practice field with energy. Like each and every week, it's got a life of its own. And so there's players, we all know we got a little bit of a younger defense, but there's nothing more rewarding for guys to go all in, to do more, to do things the way they're being asked to do things, and then have obviously the type of success that they did tonight. Because those numbers, I've obviously coached defense here at Boise State for a while, and those are probably some of the more impressive numbers we've ever had in a single game.
Give us an example, Andy, but maybe, what did you ask the players to do a little bit differently this week? Or, I guess what does it mean to just pay a little more attention to the details and things like that?
Well, we've been talking a lot about the competitive maturity it takes to be that word that keeps coming up, consistent. What does it look like at this level? It's not easy. It's not easy. You don't get done with this defense got done this afternoon by just showing up every day. That doesn't happen. We're talking about when we go into meetings and being dialed in meetings and knowing exactly what's going on from, you get a particular call. Well, the split of a wide receiver might be here on one play, but it's here on another, and you got to know and understand where the leverage is and whether you're on the ball or off the ball in your coverage. And there's a lot of detail that goes into playing defense here. And it's awesome to see that our guys are starting to pick that up, and they're starting to see that, whether it's a guy in coverage or a guy in the front, and how we play a certain technique and how you're able to manipulate a front and leverage by playing a technique a certain way and going all in. Like, yeah, you can jump on YouTube and watch how someone else did it somewhere else, but, it probably took 45 times for that one clip on YouTube to make it on YouTube. But there's a way of doing it consistently where you can get this type of results. And our guys are starting to do a really good job of being consistent with that. Our coaches are doing a really good job with creating a standard and showing them exactly what it should look like. One of the biggest parts, too, again, this is tackle football. If there's, 30 run plays, and, we do a good job fitting a particular run play, but we don't fit a ball carrier with the proper leverage and proper tackling fundamentals, and he falls forward for 3 yards on 30 run plays. Come on. Y'all know what that number looks like. That's 90 extra yards right there, right? And so that in itself, that comes into play here. You look at the amount of rushes they had, and if you go back and watch the film, and you'll see the diligence in the tackling, that was a big part in itself. Well, now you get ahead of the chains, and you put an offense behind the chains, and ultimately we got to be able to continue to do that. And give ourselves the opportunity to play in second down and longs, third and longs.
Between the first half, start of the second half, 4 straight possessions where you guys had scores on. Just what was clicking well for you guys as you guys got deeper into the game?
Again, like we talked about it, like we got into rhythm there and we took care of the ball. Like we have all the things, within the game plan to be able to get certain personnel the ball, to be able to operate in certain situations, 4-down zone, red zone, third downs. It comes down to having that utmost confidence in the pre-snap, our quarterbacks having command in the pre-snap, and the execution in terms of guys playing with speed off the ball. That's always a big part of it. And ultimately, like we said, enough already tonight. You take care of the ball, and good things are going to happen.
On Breezy and Prince, but just getting them both in the end zone, I'm assuming gonna see many more of that throughout the year. Just how nice was that for both of them to get their first?
Yeah, and especially Breezy's done a lot this year, and for him to get in for the first time is big time. And so there's a lot of guys on offense that are very capable. We will continue to find ways as the guys show guys show that they're going to be consistent, they're going to show up every day with a great attitude, then we're going to find ways to get them the ball. They get their opportunity, they get their number called. There's a lot of times a guy might be the primary target. He doesn't win his route, he doesn't get the ball. You got to win in practice, and you got to win in the game. And the guys that win, their one-on-ones, no different than if you're a pass rusher on defense. If you win your one-on-one pass rushes in practice and you win your one-on-one pass rushes in the game, you're probably going to be in on third down a lot more.
That Wyoming team, they're tied with Texas in the fourth quarter. They gave Air Force all they could handle. All you guys have been through this year to have that type of performance against that type of team, this be something that galvanizes you guys.
Like we said, we get an opportunity to play 1 week at a time here down the stretch and be our best. Sometimes you got to move on from the past and be able to drive forward. And I think the team did an unbelievable job of exemplifying that this week and obviously today. There's nothing more satisfying than seeing the joy on their face in the locker room. Again, you stay the course. It really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter to us what the external says. To be honest, it's really about the people in this building and what they're capable of and what they pour in every single day and following the path that's been laid out for us by the Lord. And in any walk of life, that's all you can do. And when you do it to your best and you have fun and you go all in, these are the type of things that can happen.
Anything else? All right.
Thank you, guys.